weird ban. They banned out Reckoner, didn't they, actually, for that last one? So, yeah, I guess out of all the evils that they foresaw, this was the lesser. So, I can't. I'd imagine this had to be Lowpander's pick. So,
yeah, I reckon so. And that's not a pun on Reckoner. That's just...
yeah. You should have saved that for Reckoner, man.
But we are live now. Teams are ready. Lowpander in the blue, and Se7en are in the red. I'm having some invisible demos at mid, so this is very, very entertaining. But we're seeing quite passive approach from both teams. Drac trying to take control of this upper area, coming up against Ubers, who is going to take him down, but Starkey's surely going to win this fight against him, which he does. But there is a heavy to mid TurboTabs. We do have the Mookie heavy and the Mr. Epic Sniper.
There it is, of course. Well, let's see if they live by the sword or if they die by the sword. They've got a bit of spam going his way, but he just won't go down. He's got
Starkey's behind. Starkey's behind. He's in on Mr. Epic. 2 shots is all it takes to take him down. And now he's going to get onto Martin as well. Martin has his heap and has to use it to save funds and himself, and actually saves Mookie as well. So that heavy surely is going to go down here, but it's taking a little bit of time to basically distract Se7en and slow them from pushing onto second. So Se7en winning that mid fight in the end, but Lowpander kind of salvaging something from there.
Yeah, you can see the disadvantages of running the heavy already. I mean, not only is it a little bit slow, so you kind of give up your initial positions on mid, but as the longer the fight draws out as well, it's sometimes it can be good where everyone on the enemy team has lost all their bullets if they kind of go aggressive, but they held the line over on Se7en and eventually just kind of surrounded the heavy, and he didn't have an option to get out because he's just not very mobile.
Wow, this is just insane from Se7en. This is just... People talk about Se7en slow die. This is just Se7en hold W and frag. They just walk through that choke. No fear whatsoever. They've just got their Uber now. And as always, Raymond is not using it until the last second. But surely this is going to be a cap. As they just walked through their TurboTabs. They just walked through. And they were just like, oh, hey, we're just going to walk through and kill you. We don't care about what you're doing.
You know, very expected at this point. It's just, again, it's just that's an example of a mid that's been lost to that strat, and they didn't have a chance to come back at all because they got slammed so hard on second as well because they worked off their momentum so nicely because that cookie cutter lineup is so well at kind of going off the momentum. So it's looking a bit more traditional now, which I'm liking. You know, they're deciding to kind of just like book it out to the tried and true, you know.
Yeah, and Captain trying to take control, and Drac as well, trying to get control of that bell tower. But Raymond goes down to Mookie, switches off to the soldier to great effect, and takes down the medic early on. Martin there, desperately trying to arrow his teammates to keep them alive. Both scouts are alive with Hildreth, and they do take down a couple of players there, but the lash is in on Martin. Can he take him down? A lot of damage, a nice pipe from Cadus, but Martin keeps a little cheeky surf there to get it into the choke. Raymond respawns, but he's got no one to heal Turbo, so Martin is going to have 100% and a nice, huge advantage. And I'm sure Lowpander are going to try and push last off of this.
I know it did look like it was Lowpander's to win right off the bat, but the positioning was very, very strong from Se7en there, where it still looked like it could go either way. It wasn't until maybe Captain started running out of rockets and you know, the scout fire was just a bit too much for him, and the fight was drawn out for too long to kind of where Lowpander really started hitting their stride, and now they've Ubered in. They're trying to find the actual sentry gun to deal with, and there we go. They will take out the sentry gun. Check. Now they just need to see if they can get a frag onto Cadus, the linchpin of this defense, I'd imagine. But why take out the linchpin when you can just stand on this point instead? But look at all these deaths that are being followed up. It's all part of their bait and switch. CeeJaey. They want to stand on the point because it's easy. Well, Se7en just make anything look hard.
See, Lowpander did a great job there pushing in through lower. They didn't have to use till the last second, but because of that, there was no one for them to contest. Everyone on Se7en was holding on the right-hand side, and Starkey got a nice headshot onto Hildreth, but it didn't matter. Like there was no one there. But Ubers with the rocket takes down Drac. A little bit of denial there, and Se7en are changing their mind about pushing because Mookie did take down the medic in that exchange earlier on. So the Ubers are pretty much equal, although it's actually about 20% advantage for Raymond. He's been building much more efficiently. So Se7en are back on their second, and Drac is going to respawn momentarily, but Ubers is starting to push the issue.
He's in on Raymond. They've actually sent both of the soldiers in. It was a great debate. They actually got the captain frag instead, but they've won so many.
Cadus takes down Martin. Cadus takes down Martin with the crater kill, and that is going to be a... It doesn't matter because Funds is fragging as well. Raymond goes down. He takes down Funds from the grave, but 2 players left alive for each team.
Starkey's still alive though, and it's two two projectile classes against a very hungry Star. Cadus will actually be the one to get the first blood in this little skirmish, and Starkey wants to kill into Hildred, but he knows that that sticky trap is not going to allow such a thing. So they do hold second, but you can see the issues there. They wanted to hold on to Raymond for so long that they kept backpedaling. It made the trap, the sprung from Funds and Co. so much easier.
Yeah, Thalash respawn there, instantly went spy just to check the classes. That must be something that they do all the time against Lowpander, just checking for that flex if there's any off class going on. But at the time of talking, Martin has about a 10% advantage, nothing too major. But Lowpander's still in control of the midpoint. And with no off classes, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to try to initiate here. Funds is trying to pressure Drac here alongside Mookie, trying to get something done, but Starkey is just going to force them back. And may get the frag onto Mookie here. He's only 7 HP. Drac is going to get swarmed though as Mr. Epic comes to help. So that is an opening frag, and Raymond very, very weak as Ubers jumps in. Can't get the force though, as Raymond, balls of steel as always. Doesn't want to use Uber for that.
Yeah, does a nice little surf away. Things kind of reset for a little bit. They are rotating around a little bit. Maybe just having a glance at each other. A little death stare through the little grating wall. But all quiet on the western front for both of these teams. Funds is actually having a pretty good game. I'm just having a glance at the scoreboard, and he is kind of toppling up above his medic. Quite a rare sight in TF2, but so that will swiftly changes. But things are quieting down. We've got a spy, it looks like, for Mookie. Let's see if we can find him, or if that's just a... Yep, he has dedicated to the spy. This is no class checking.
Yeah, he's in through flowers, actually. He's all the way behind. And I'm not sure if they're checking. I think they are checking. I think Starkey must have bumped in. He's just having a look around.
He's just checking, yeah. But this is what happens. The spy's just so slow that you just think, like, well, 30 seconds has passed. Probably a spy. Better start shooting corners. And at this point, I mean, to give credit to Mookie, there are times where he's been known to or spotted, or they know of his presence, and he has a good job of, like, trying to close the gap or use the pistol or kind of think outside the box, basically. But this won't be one of those times. And with another death going down to the Roma, it's time to do that Roma dance on the other enemy team. And it's Drax going to go down as well, trying to look for a pick, trying to look through a little, I guess, like, chink in the armour of Lowpander.
Yeah, they're just trying to, like, Se7en, they're not under any pressure to push here. They are 1-0 up, and they can just wait for Lowpander to try and force the issue here. I mean, I liked the attempt of a trick stab there from Mookie. It's brave, it's bold, but I don't think Raymond was going to fall for that. And I'm not saying they're out of ideas. Mookie is back on the soldier now, so we do hear a banner. That is the Call of Gondor, and I'm just trying to find out who that actually is.
That has to be Lowpander, surely.
Surely they are a fan
yeah,
of the horn.
Lowpander. There you go. You got I think it's Ubers with the banner, and they are a team that do like to experiment with the banner. Maybe not so much Lego level of banner usage, but they do like a bit of banner here and there. And there we go. They're actually going to initiate in with the banner. Quite controversial, in my opinion, because you still get a monumental amount of damage thrown your way, and it's usually a banner. It still isn't enough to get through these choke points. As you can tell, they lost Funds on the initial banner pop, and they even lost Mookie, who tried to back out with the rest of his team, realizing that things have gone awry. And now they have to deal with a 2-man deficit as they're fighting at this mid. They're going to maybe get this pick onto Flash, and Uber's actually survives well. If he keeps surviving, that's going to be great. Oh no, he actually does get finished off by Starkey now, and they're trying to find what flanks in, and Cadus will be the one that will make the tide turn. Now I think this is the game, or the mid-winning pipe, I should say, as they will eventually kind of kite around Martin enough to kind of force his Uber out. And look at Starkey, he's so happy. He's popping his little dance shoes off and really just reveling in the fact that he's forced that Uber, and his teams have got away with it.
Yeah, he was on a 5-kill streak there. He was doing a lot of work behind enemy lines, just kind of annoying. You know, you start to look at that and you could say, yeah, that was a mistake by Lowpander. They shouldn't have pushed there. It might have worked. It might have worked if Funds hadn't taken a ton of damage walking through there. Like you said, it doesn't make you invincible. It just makes you take less damage. And Funds got fragged very early on there, but it looks like Se7en want to push in here. Big jump from Captain. He's going to take control of the bell tower. Drac does take down Mookie, but Thalash gets taken down in return. So it does look like there's a sticky trap on the midpoint. I'm just wondering if Raymond's seen that. So close to taking him down. 30 HP on the medic for Se7en. Raymond probably gasped a little bit there, but didn't drop. And it has given time for Martin to get up 100% though, Turbo. So we're back in the situation. Basically, Se7en trading the midpoint here.
Those my body whistled there, and it wasn't coming out of my mouth. It was it was just suspenseful to say the least. But I mean, they did it. They got the midpoint. It was some of the most delicate, slow pushing, methodical. A lot of crossbowing being involved as well. Sadly, they didn't manage to catch Flash, but he sees it as an opportunity. For every door that closes, another one opens. He's going the sniper class, and he's going to see if he can get that pick that he's looking for.
Yeah, I mean, now...
Oh, standing still funds. There you go. Easiest pick of your life.
I mean, you know, if they stand still, it does help with the sniper main. You know, it does make it slightly easier. And now Thalash has got even more room to try and work with here, as Drak is taking the top, and he takes down Mookie actually with the crater. And this is not looking good for Lowpander.
He's got eyes on Martin. Martin's like, I know you're there. And I'm in a horrible position that I want to get out, but I can't because the sniper has the door locked down. Luckily, they find a way into the underneath area where they just back out the medic instead. Very nice little decisive play from Lowpander and co to get out from that, away from the sniper sight line. Oh, bomb in onto the medic, and they will get the force. Very nicely done by Captain there. So with that Uber down and 100% on the Raymond, this is surely in the bag for Se7en here.
Yeah, Thalash is still on the sniper as well, so if they can get some space for him during the Uber, then he'll maybe able to get some picks going on. Mr. Epic has switched off to do a bit of counter sniping, and Funds is on NG. So 2 off classes for Lowpander, neither one of them is Mookie, which is interesting to see, but maybe the double soldier spam is going to be more helpful, as Ubers is running the black box now with the conch. So he just doesn't want to die at all. He wants all that HP regen, as Se7en come in with the Uber now. They take the sentry gun down very early on. Thalash wins the sniper duel against Mr. Epic, and Starkey just baiting that point a little bit, trying to get some dump. But Captain and Cadence have gone down. Drak also goes down to Ubers with the black box, and yeah, that conch coming into great effect. That countered Se7en so well. Just that post Uber fight, when you've got that conch running, Turbo, it just makes you fast and gives you HP back. And Lowpander have held that really, really well.
Yeah, you just feel so tanky, especially the longer the fight gets drawn out. And it's just inevitable. If you're an attacking team, you're going to lose those numbers as the longer the fight goes. And even if the fact that they lost Mr. Epic so early, he's just going to respawn back as a scout and really do a lot of damage as it was just being drawn out there. So they will get the easy pick onto Ubers, kind of giving it away for his team. They are forced out their Uber. It's kind of a car crash of an Uber so far. They will maybe get a Starkey pick, not before he gets the pick onto Mookie though. He even picks up a health pack, and he's going to go behind. This is probably the worst Uber they could have had in this scenario. He's actually going to come back and go for the 1v1 against the buff scout, and he's still not dying. Captain comes in. Captain will actually be the first one to go down instead. It's time to tag in Flash, and they're still chasing. They want to get these kills, but who's going to get the cap point, CeeJaey?
Yeah, nobody cares about the cap. It's all about just constantly putting on the pressure there. Just as soon as Starkey was low HP and Thalash arrived, just like you said, they tagged in. Thalash just kept holding W, kept going forward, giving that pressure on. He's in on last already. Uber's fun to use some funds, is just going to get slaughtered there. Cadis also takes down Martin. Just going to stack the point this time around, and they're going to take it 2-0. And it's just half the game nearly gone here, Turbo, but Se7en just seemed to be picking up on the mistakes of Lowpander. Lowpander looked really good for a moment there, but that last Uber just wasn't great. And Se7en just capitalizing on the mistakes, and they're going to punish you for it.
Yeah, the patterns are starting to emerge. It seems if there's any sort of like messy, scrappy fight on second, or if things go bad on this mid transition, then they more than likely will lose the round. So maybe they can really hit that nerve over on Se7en. But also, Lowpander have the chance to identify that and fix it while they still have a chance. It's 16 minutes left on the clock, and Ubers will make the jump in onto Drak, and he will kind of secure that kill. Even Mookie getting a nice little damage onto his team as well, and he's not going to even go down that easily. He's kind of baiting for Lash in, who has to dedicate all the way to find that kill. So at the end of the day, it's just a trade, and oh, there we go. There's the Raymond kill. There is possibly the round-winning kill that they needed. But Captain Stark, they're making a go of it. They're going to take out Ubers.
That was just, they were so desperate for the Raymond kill there. They did get it, but they had to throw Hildreth and Ubers in. So basically the entire combo gone down. So they do have this 100% Uber, but they have to be careful that they don't have two of their main pushes, but they are walking in anyway. Flash is on the sniper, he's cloaked in, and he's in a decent position in the bush. So Mr. Epic is checking. I don't know if someone bumped, I don't know if someone's calling it, but Flash is in a position here. Hildreth is just joining.
I mean, they're not going to see this coming at all. I mean, nobody suspects that. Oh, he's actually going for the scout pick? Why? Oh, we got a headshot on Ubers.
I think he was trying to stop the cap, but he didn't get it just in time as Hildreth takes down the sentry. Uber is used, Drac is down, but Mookie has been dropped from this exchange. And so many stickies on the point, they just can't get the point pressure, but Hildreth does take down Raymond, and Cadus also goes down. There's a lot of presence off the point gone, no stickies. Starkey, the Lashing Captain, have to do something, and Starkey is doing it. He cleans up Hildreth, and somehow that didn't work out, Turbo.
Alright, I know exactly what was going off there. Pretty much they knew that they had the advantage and they knew that they were going to push in with that. So if Flash was going to do anything of tribute to his team, he has to do it very quick. He has to just take any sort of little thing there, because he ran the risk of just being outrun by the rest of Lowpander trying to cap last there. And it's a good thing that he got that scout pick, because who knows, those sort of scouts in those scenarios where everyone's running around with low HP on that last point, I feel like I could see a scout like Funds or like Mr. Epic just coming in, cleaning up everybody and securing the round.
Yeah, and you can see Lowpander here building up their Uber as much as they can. They did have the advantage because Martin survived that exchange and Raymond did die to Hildreth. So they have 100%. Raymond's only at 60, but there is a level 3 sentry to contend with. Hildreth tries to jump into it, gets a lot of damage onto it and does take it down. Drac is hiding in from behind, but he does get spotted by Mr. Epic. He's going to try to get him here, and he does finish him off. So now lots of time on the point for Mr. Epic. He's going to bait Se7en down. It doesn't matter as Mookie jumps in very late on, and he's going to manage to get the cap, and that makes it 2-1. Clawed back around already, Turbo, and yeah, 13 minutes to go. Still nearly half the game to go. And I'm not going to say this has been back and forth, but it's been very calculated from both teams.
I felt like there was a lot of solid play coming out from the flank of Lowpander there. They did a lot of work whilst Hildreth and Mr. Epic were tied up with Drac at the back lines there. And once they were able to rejoin the fight, it really did solidify that last point for them.
Yeah, and we're seeing both soldiers doing something different this time. Captain takes down Hildreth, and he's in on the medic. He does take down the medic. Drag also takes down Ubers. That was all about the soldiers. Cadus, Captain, and Drac. So far in the mids, they've been jumping the bell tower one at a time and trying to take control of the middle point. But this time they jumped around the point. Both took the ledges. One went Tetris, one went onto the cliffside, and they were just such a distraction that everyone else just walked across the point and pounded. Huge Uber advantage for Raymond, who uses it straight in onto the point. There is a heavy from Mr. Epic with a Natasha, but point focus is there. Funds is going to get taken out, and Se7en capped that very, very easily. Just so aggressive,
wow.
Turbo.
For every very long, drawn out, difficult, just very, very difficult round that Lowpander has to fight Se7en for, Se7en just kind of breeze through and just take a casual round from them. It just must be so degrading after just, oh man, we worked a good 10 minutes at this round and they just come in and a minute later they got another round. Widen the gap.
It is demoralising when you get back in and then suddenly you're back to a two round deficit. But we're seeing Drac jump in on Martin, but Martin's not going to be able to get him. Captain does take down Hildreth again, and it does look like this is going to be a slaughter. Martin, the only person alive. Starkey is in on the chase.
Got the kill.
Oh, that's a wipe.
That's even the worst count, because look at the timers for the medic CeeJaey. He's actually got a nice 7 seconds ahead of his team as well, so by the time they actually make this push into last, the medic is not even going to touch any of these players. Oh god, Hildreth even goes down before he even gets a sticky trap up, because Captain's already there waiting for him. This is... oh.
As soon as Se7en capture mid, they're already in the lobby by the time the cap goes over. Like, they're just so aggressive that it's not giving Lowpander time to set up, and you'd think with the ability they have on their off classes, get Mr. Epic on Sniper, something like that, they'd have some sort of defense up, but they literally don't. And they're deciding to change up their strats for this mid-fight. Mr. Epic on Sniper, Mookie on the heavy TurboTabs. I know how much you love this.
If Lowpander can do this, I feel like this will work, because it will control a bit of Drac's, I guess, plays on the cafe side, but he will go in now. Well, there you go. He just literally got delivered to Martin in courtesy of one of the soldiers of Lowpander.
I'm pretty sure Drax's face was rubbing the skybox there as he flew through the sky and just straight down onto Martin. Cost him his life, but it doesn't matter. He's taking down the medic. Mookie is still alive, and he actually takes down Raymond here. It's not his medic down. Cadis is getting a frag there onto Funds, but I do think that somehow Lowpander are in control at this point, because Mookie still has a decent amount of HP, and it's going to be very difficult for them to push onto him. He's getting a lot of damage, but finally goes down.
I mean, they had the right idea, Se7en kind of bum rushing the heavy, but they were a bit slow in their execution. They need to do things as quickly as possible before those respawners of Mr. Epic and Funds come back in to kind of like equalise that fight, and that's just what they did. They spent so many resources killing the heavy that by the time they didn't have any time to recover because the scouts had arrived.
Yeah, that's the thing. You wait for that respawn wave and comes in and you're just not suitably prepared. But Lowpander, they're not holding back anymore. They're getting straight in here. Funds and Uber's just getting so aggressive, but the snipe from Starkey, body shot onto Hildreth, takes down that demo, and Captain is in on the medic. Nice rocket onto Martin. He can't get to the health pack. That's been stolen by his scout buddy. Captain and Starkey do go down, and actually Draken Cadis goes down to Funds. There is just a fragging machine right now, and that is a wipe from Se7en. And Lowpander should be able to push this straight to last turbo.
I think they kind of forgot how cool Sunshine can be on these second defences. As you can tell, like, it's quite a giant ass wall that's just dividing you and the last point as well. So the way of exit is not really clear for Se7en to get out there. So when things were getting hairy, they were dedicated, they were in. And when your enemy team has an Uber advantage, I feel like it's a losing scenario.
Yeah, I mean, it got to a situation there where Lowpander were capping the point on last before the respawns even came in. So we're back to a 2-round deficit, 4-2 in the favour of Se7en for the time being. And just over 8 minutes to go, so still very much doable for Lowpander, but they're going to need a strong mid here, I feel, to kind of enforce the issue. They are on the Mookie heavy, but just double scouts as well. Nice air shot. Drak does take down Funds, but Drak and Captain are kind of behind in flowers right now, posing a distraction. Cadis goes down to Mr. Epic. The jump comes in, but the heavy is just going to deny that. Absolutely. Starkey and Captain coming from behind as well, but Mr. Epic is trying his best to deny that. He cannot. So many weak players on Se7en, and but they're sandwiched between Lowpander is sandwiched between 4 players here, Turbo.
Oh yep, and there you go, here comes the Starkey kill, and oh no, Martin wasn't paying attention, his heavy goes down before his eyes, and not before his Uber though. It's going to go down, and that's a mid-cap for Se7en. It was very well played by Se7en. The fact that they divided up all their soldiers, maybe a little bit of mistiming here and there when it came to the Drak dying at the early stages of the mid, but when they got the Starkey in behind, they got Captain in behind as well, and they have the Lash kind of kiting that heavy weapons guy very meticulously with Raymond constantly giving him buffs as well. It was very nice to see.
Absolutely, and still Raymond hasn't been forced, and he's walking into last already. He's on last before they even use...
Martin kill!
Oh, Captain takes down Mr. Epic as well. What a rocket that was. 4 down for Lowpander right now. The respawns aren't going to come in time, and that is going to make it 5-2 to Lowpander. And what looked really good for Lowpander for a moment there, you can see as soon as a mistake is made, Mookie getting dropped in that Uber, they just capitalize on it, they push you, they punish you so badly for it that they end up rolling you all the way to last.
It just seems so unfair for Lowpander. They have to work twice as hard as Se7en do for these rounds, it feels like. And I guess that's just a credit to Se7en, the fact that when they find that one mistake, they really do snowball it into an entire round, while Lowpander has to kind of get 3 snowballs off before theirs kind of kick in.
I know, we're just seeing the heavy to mid again. Like you said, they die by the flex at times. Here, Turbo Mookie trying to rain some damage down, but he's just getting focused by everybody. Ubers does pick up Starkey, but Lowpander have to back off here. Se7en already got the cap, and they're in a good position, although Drak does get taken down by Funds. So that's just going to slow them down a little bit, but I don't think Lowpander want to stay in here. They are on last. Turbo, they're just building up their Uber, and I think they're going to maybe get ready for a last hold, which is not a good position for them. 3 rounds down, and just under 6 minutes to go. They need to be on the front foot.
It feels like the flanks are just too accessible to kind of come popping back out again for Se7en for them to. Usually, what happens if you're getting flanked by somebody, CeeJaey, you just press forward with kind of using that flanking player as like a man down, and then pressing forward instead. And it did kind of work. You saw glimpses of it in that last mid fight a round ago, but it just doesn't work because they can just rejoin the fight just as quickly as they exit the fight over on these flanks. Starkey, in particular, seems to be really hitting these high notes of the scout, kind of popping in and out. And speaking of Starkey, he has actually got the spy class. He's been bumped into, but Hildreth hasn't noticed. Starkey's like, well, okay, alright, he hasn't noticed me.
Yeah, you just kind of going to accept that. And Martin,
yes, the stab comes in, very nicely timed by Starkey, and they even spotted it as well. It was the 1 second, the 1 millisecond they needed to get that stab off, and he finds it, CeeJaey.
He looked around half a second before and then just turned his back. Mookie gets cleaned up by Dirac there on the flank, just doing his job. 3 down now for Lowpander, and surely Se7en are just going to stroll in here with their Ruba and get another round on the board and make it practically impossible for Lowpander to get back into this now. They're already in, and Raymond finally does use nice bomb there from Ubers from behind, does actually get the force, and Mookie, it's Funds on the Natasha Heavy on this far side, making it difficult for them to get any ground across the point. Captain ends up jumping. Wow, Cadus then finishes off that Heavy. The Lash is now right in the faces. The 2 scouts are going to take down Martin. The Lash on a 5k. They're so very weak though. A Mystic Epic could actually keen up here, Turbo. He's going to just got Raymond to contend with. Can Raymond do the impossible? 1v2 on last. He can't, and he's going to have a slightly longer respawn key, but I don't think Se7en are going to be too fussed about that.
Jesus, Mr. Epic just fetched the bleach and the window wiper from the back room and just cleaned up. My God. And I'm just so shocked at some of the damage that they managed to sprawl out as well during the entire sections of the fight. I feel like Hildreth was doing an unsung job of just laying out the building blocks for Mr. Epic to go on his epic kill streak.
Oh, okay. Martin does have an Uber advantage though, about 25-30%, and Lowpander, maybe normally wouldn't want to push on that, but at this moment they have to. They're in a situation where they need to get rounds on the board, and Mr. Epic is on the sniper to maybe try and hit some of those epic shots. Yeah.
Oh, it's been played. It's been done.
It's been played. I can't. Okay. I mean, Starkey's gonna make his marquee because he's also on sniper.
I'm out. I'm gone.
This is now a solo cast. I've killed Turbo. I'm sorry, but basically it's pretty much equal Ubers right now as Mookie just jumps around and takes down Dirac, but Captain is just going to clean up that very, very low HP Roma, and this is just playing into Se7en's hands. They can just wait. It's pretty much impossible now. Think I'm going to call it less than 3 minutes and 3 rounds to get. I don't think Lowpander are going to do it.
Yeah. I forgot during all the excitement that there is a round timer in this game, and there you go. It is the elegant trash time, I think, as Kados calls it.
I do want to. I don't think people can see it on the cast, but I do have a question about the avatars on Se7en.
Oh, I can't see them either. So.
Okay. They're all faces of a lizard. I don't know if it's a meme or whether this is in relation to something, but there's definitely something. If we do get to interviews, I do want to find out what is going on.
That's the mascot.
The mascot. It could be.
Yeah.
We do have an Uber exchange here in Cafe, as does look actually in better for Lowpander. Ubers is not actually going to get a frag there as Cadus just walks in with the pipes and takes down the medic. So just to add insult to injury there, Hildreth has a sticky trap, but Captain is going to jump up behind, pressure that sniper, and Hildreth just squatting in the corner. Not the position he wanted to be in, facing Captain. And with 1.5 minutes here, Se7en could probably make it another round on the board here and make it even worse looking for the Logs, Turbo.
It is a little cruel to kind of hold the high standards of these teams at this point in the game, because they're just having fun right now. If there's a myriad of reasons, well, I'm trying to say words, but there's just a variety of reasons why they could be playing the way they are. They could be still taking it seriously. They could not even be noticing the time. They could be noticing the time and just taking it to clowny levels. They could just, be trying to get the best out of Logs. There's all sorts of things they could be doing with this trash time, but it's nothing important, is what we're trying to say. It is most certainly the way of Se7en. It will be the first map, and it's quite convincing, to say the least, coming out from Se7en. You do
Definitely.
agree?
I mean, we don't know who picked what map, but we were thinking that this was a Lowpander pick, based on it being a new map for the season, and the fact that Se7en probably haven't played this map as a team. Well,
Well,
under the
it's
name
been
of Se7en. They probably last played it when Cadis and Co were playing as Reason.
It would have been like a Crowns thing, maybe. Reason? Oh no, I think that's way too far. That's going a bit back. So I think it's more of a.
Oh, sorry, we saw the crits there. Crits on Captain, and then crits on the Lash. They do take down a couple of players there. Ibra used on mid onto Hildreth, who ran heavy to mid. Who needs a demo when you've got a heavy? But yeah, we did think this was a Lowpander pick, so I'm not going to say it's a surprise, but the fact that it was 6-2 to Se7en, they looked very much in control and very comfortable on the map. That doesn't bode well for Se7en. Doesn't bode well for Lowpander, sorry, on a map that's maybe more suited to Se7en's style. So Lowpander probably have to go back to the drawing board and really have to think about how they're going to do to counter this aggression from Se7en.
I know it looks like I'm kind of hating on Lowpander's mid strats here, but I feel like it wasn't even that bad of an idea, this map. It was just the wrong order. I feel like if they opened with Cookie Cutter, realised the sort of, I guess, moves that you saw Drac and whatnot going through on these mids, I would have, well, I don't think I would have suggested heavy, but I would have applauded a heavy to mid, because it does show the mark of some adaptation and some nice little play there. The fact that when they pulled it out a second time, realising how good it was for those sorts of mids, and that's the one where they got an instant round on their back, that was very good. But then they just kept going back to the heavy because they felt like the game was slipping between their fingers, and they don't feel like they're the better team. They just, that's maybe a little bit insulting, but it just seems like they're we have to hope on the gimmicks. The gimmicks can get me through. But I feel like I need to cheer up Lowpander. You do have it in you if you just kind of go with the cookie cutter more. Just believe in yourself.
Have confidence in yourself. Yeah,
you can do it.
It's what we said at the start. If Lowpander come into this feeling that they have to go for those flex opportunities and try to kind of do that in order to get one over Se7en.
Have the flex be like a string to their bow, but not their entire quiver.
Exactly. The default strat should just be the vanilla lineup and have faith in themselves to play that way, because there were moments there where they looked very, very strong. But like we said, Se7en are just so good at capitulating on a mistake from an enemy team that when Lowpander did lose a player in a position that they shouldn't have been, then they just capitalized and just pushed forward. Looking at the logs, it doesn't read a pretty reading for Lowpander, to be honest. Thalash and Starkey there, 26 and 25 frags respectively. Lots of damage coming in there from Cadis, 329. Ubers was another player to get over 300, but when your scouts are doing over 250 each, and just out damaging a lot of the enemy team, it's very, very difficult. I mean, Thalash and Starkey were just on point today.
It just felt like a Se7en format in Se7en fashion, when they kind of got this little advantage right at the start and then they just held them down the rest of the way. It just felt like a slow bleed out by Lowpander. Maybe a little bit of fight here and there, but I would never say there was ever a moment where control was lost. And that's probably the mantra of Se7en right now: control.
Yeah.
Slow die.
Exactly, and I'm looking at the map now, and it is process. And based on the performance of the scouts already, that's an unwelcome prospect, I feel, for Lowpander, to take a look at this and think, okay, the damage was done, I feel, from the soldiers. Captain and Drac were just getting into really interesting positions, and that allowed the likes of Cadis, the Lash, Starkey to just walk across, take that ground, and do the damage, and get those frags in the end. And I think the same could happen here on process. I'm expecting to see sniper a lot from Mr. Epic or from Mookie, because I think something will need to be done from Lowpander. If they're going to go cookie cutter and just play normally, then they're going to really have to play at their best, because I don't think heavy to mid is going to be a viable strat here.
Yeah, I feel like this mid is going to invite a lot of the same, I guess maybe the meta of process right now, where both teams kind of stray off for bombing in. They just play it very slow, kind of take a step at a time, see if they can go across the point and just slowly win back the territory. And I feel like Se7en really shines in these scenarios as well, especially Cadis. I feel like when it comes to these sort of standoff mids where none of the teams want to dedicate themselves in. Cadus is the one that finds these like random assortments of pipes and stickies that kind of bind together to get these sort of picks out of nowhere and get the ball rolling on these mids.
Absolutely, and I'm interested to see what Mickey's gonna do on mids. Whether they just decide to go and have the aggression from both Ubers and Mookie on the soldier, just kind of get into the faces of Se7en, really force them to do something. Because I felt on the mid fights on Sunshine, there really was never a moment where Lowpander were taking control. It was very much wait for the bombs from Drac and from Captain, and then hope that the heavy denies that, which he did at points, and then the rest of the team is going to follow up from that. That's not going to work on process. I can't see heavy working, so I feel like that they're going to have to take more control of themselves.
Yeah, if it's reactive, it's brilliant. It looks like some great TF2, but against Se7en, when it's like your starter, it's not working for me, you know. And yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe I'm just a bit. I'm not sure if to call myself a realist or a pessimist is probably what the word I'm trying to find. But on a map like Process as well, where I feel like this is an alright map for Se7en, they have an impressive Process in my opinion. Especially like a little bit of trivia here and there. Like Cadus, the one that kind of found that little fast rollout that you can do on the Process mid, and I feel like he actually perfects it to the point where it still just feels a little bit faster than other demo men right now. Where if he hits it, no matter, I don't think he's got quite the consistency of like say Ale, for example. But when Cadus gets like a fast rollout, it is the fastest, and I have seen him like just win a mid out in a couple of seconds of just from his fast rollouts. So
yeah, I mean when you have that kind of ability to do that, and the enemy team knows that, like everyone knows that Cadus is able to do that, Lowpander are gonna have to adapt the way they play on the off chance that Cadus is gonna be there super fast. And is Mookie gonna try and do a fast Roma rollout to try and catch him out? Is he gonna just play more passive? I don't know. I just feel that Lowpander need to just go balls to the wall aggressive, just get really in the faces of Se7en, not give them time to plan or anything like that. Just not give them a time to think even at the mid-fight, because the longer the mid-fight seem to go on, the more that just plays into Se7en's hands, and they're able to just kind of grind out the victory.
Although I'm getting this weird sound coming from my gut, CeeJaey, and it's actually telling me like I think Sniper for Lowpander will actually work for them here, and I don't know your opinions on this. Maybe you can talk some clarity into me, CeeJaey, but do you think the Sniper being pulled out by Mr. Epic on these mids are going to do a difference here, or am I just talking crazy?
No, I think you're absolutely like within your right to say that. I said this to Eeply yesterday. I feel Mr. Epic as a sniper is probably one of the best snipers around in sort of ETF12 in Prem at the moment. Thalash and Starkey aren't playing this season, so Thalash was always the kind of the go-to guy of, Thalash being able to hit those amazing shots. And when you start looking around at the players who are still currently playing in this season, I would say Mr. Epic is up there as one of, if not the best sniper. And taking him to mid, if he can hit those shots, we've seen him on things like Product. There's a reason that Lowpander do the whole thing where they switch Ubers off to Scout and put Mr. Epic on Sniper. It's because he can consistently hit those shots. And if he's able to do that at mid-fight, he gets an early pick onto Cadus, or he's able to, hit 2 or 3 headshots and really pump out that damage. I really think that could be an opening. So we'll see how it goes. The teams have readied up. There was a cheeky spy there from Se7en to see what they were running, and it is a Mookie Mookie Sniper to mid. Cadus is very fast onto his pack, but Hildreth is contesting him with some sticky spam and fun surfing a rocket there all the way around. And it does look like Se7en are all bunching up here, but Thalash is the first casualty, TurboTabs, and it is the Mookie Sniper.
Yeah, I was expecting more of a Mr. Epic Sniper, but I guess just by the fact that he's a very talented scout, you always want to go over, hold on to the talented scout rather than pull out a sniper, in my opinion. So it did get them a pick here and there, but it didn't win them the mid. It just didn't do enough in my books. And Also, they got some very nice positioning as well at the start of the mid. I think the scouts were a little bit slow off the mark on Lowpander because they had to deal with Cadis's little like pipes and little stickies. They had to clean that little mess up at choke before they could even get into position. And Flash had a very nice, strong, commanding position at that on the top area as well, starting off the mid. And I don't know, I feel like it's one of those games where this mid might dictate the rest of the pace of the game. Oh, hello, Ubers comes in, and he will get a bomb onto Raymond, but Raymond does Raymond things and just doesn't die. It's going to be still even a piece, and on the bright side there, with Mookie going straight to sniper at the start of this mid, they kind of transition into a second defense quite flawlessly because you can just not waste any time really.
Well, I think that was part of their plan. You know, if they play passive and the mid fight doesn't go their way, they can just back up and they've got a sniper ready. But Starkey earlier on did did die to Ubers, and he went back to spawn, respawned on the sniper, and does take down Mookie. So 15-second respawn queue for that man. And Katis is taking that opportunity to start walking through choke and taking some of the ground. The rest of Se7en are taking control of the sewer. And Cadis does take down Ubers. That's 2 picks now, and now they've got Starkey trying to take the ground, and the rest of Se7en are just walking in here for free now. They've taken it. They've done the damage. That's the thing. You get that opening, and it just felt Lowpander didn't feel in control once Mookie went down.
Yeah, it's so difficult to hold close once you lose a player down on your team. And they played off that very well over on Se7en. The fact that it opened up another brand new sight line, or a very scary sight line for Stark to kind of start opening the door, and it gave very little options for Lowpander to hold on to that second, at least not without dedicating in and running the risk. And the probability was never going to be in Lowpander's favour, so I don't blame them for backing out there and respecting the Starkey sniper.
We do have Mookie on on NG now. Mr. Epic is the man to get his head blown off as he switched off to sniper. But Starkey has the benefit, and he's hitting some more headshots. And that's the thing. That's what we were expecting Mookie or Mr. Epic to be doing. But Starkey is the man to take center stage and deal out that damage. But Cadis is taken out by Funds. Lowpander taking this opportunity. Demoman down to get aggressive. Drac could get caught off here. He doesn't. Wow. And Captain actually takes down Funds.
Funds kind of just threw the push there, in my opinion. Kind of went ahead of everybody on his team. I feel like that was a real opportunity for them to make the push onto second. Maybe a bit scary because you've got like Flash and maybe Drac kind of skulking about, trying to maybe scare them with a backcat. But I feel like that's one of the few opportunities they're going to get through all this. Because reminder, you're playing against Se7en, who are very methodical, very controlled, and don't make mistakes like that.
Dispenser down, that should initiate the push, surely.
Game is over now.
Starkey does get taken out there by Mr. Epic, and Se7en trying to take control of lobby to give Starkey some space there, but he wasn't well protected enough. And there isn't a sniper coming out of Lowpander. I'm not sure whether that's because they're not feeling comfortable counter-sniping against Starkey, or whether they just don't want to. I don't know, but Mookie is still on that engineer with the level 3 on the ramp, so that's going to physically block people who are trying to get up the ramp, but also shoot them as they come through the doorway. And Starkey's respawned on Scout, so maybe this is going to be an exchange here, Turbo, because maybe Se7en are getting impatient.
No, they don't get impatient, let's be fair. But I feel like you hit the nail on the head with in regards to the sniper earlier there. Starkey has been kind of dominating Mr. Epic on this sniper. Actually, he's flicked off now, so maybe have a quick check see if Starkey was running that sniper anymore, because he did go down earlier. And the fact that he's not running anymore is safe for Mr. Epic to pop his head out again. But yeah, I think they're just going to be patient, wait for a mistake, maybe go for a coordinated bomb and spam from Drac and Cadis, and see if they can work their way into lobby. Just maybe even go for a slow push, maybe see if they can just edge around these corners and whatnot.
Yeah, Cadis, so close to taking down this sentry, actually. Just peeked in through the far side in lobby, and wow, Mr. Epic does get that frag of his, takes down Cadis. Drac also cleaned up, and that's probably going to initiate some sort of push out here from Lowpander. They are using one of the horns, that is a conch. They're going to be moving super fast and getting their health back. Starkey gets cleaned up. Flash is also there. Could get caught out here by Ubers. He's chasing down underneath, and he's jumping around, but Ubers is going to use the black box to get it. But they haven't got any time on the point here. Well, they aren't now, Tebe, and they actually did get the force. I toast that Uber from Raymond, and Martin is still 100% in the bank.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I got you covered, bro. It is Funds. He just kind of walked in there with the conch buff on him, kind of shot a little bit towards the way of Raymond, and Raymond felt like the heat in the kitchen. He had to just pop that Uber. It was way too risky, and nobody's really blaming him. Starkey's kind of faffing about in forward spawn, and Mookie's got him under control now, but he's kind of caught time positioned and just trying to secure Starkey, and there we go. There's the weakness found in the Lowpander lineup, and their Uber's getting also kited as well. But I say kited, Cadus gets cut off from the rest of his team, and Raymond wants to find a new patient now to kind of hold on to the mid, but they pay enough but not too much on Se7en to kind of hold on to the mid and just find the pickoffs here and there, because the pickoffs just feel so much more detrimental to Lowpander than they do for Se7en right now, and they even find the Uber's kill as well, because it's just not a great point or map in general to start backing out whole points at a time, CeeJaey. It's a massive, I guess, potential to be chased down by these little soldiers and these scouts and even some demo men.
Yeah, and there's no sentry on last this time. Uber advantage for Raymond, which he uses, but everyone's in spawn. It's just stickies on the only thing stopping them, and Lowpander are starting to emerge from their hole right now, but the stickies from Cadus takes down Mr. Epic, and they're just going to get some time on the point now, which is making Ubers have to focus it, but no one dislodges the lash from the actual capture point. That's going to be 1-0 to Se7en. And I was going to say, that was won by Cadus. Cadus kited that Uber for so long. It took Funds like a couple of seconds longer to kill him, and that gave the rest of his team enough time to just back away. And even though he did die, Cadus super fast to this mid as well. He's already capturing the point, and Hildreth is just arriving in choke. So
look, see, they can't even turn up to mid. This is what it feels like. It's so just detrimental, it feels, to your team. And now look at the position that Flash has already kind of got. Cadus got a nice little sight line on them already. The soldiers, they don't even know where the soldiers are coming from. Luckily, they managed to control Drac in time, and they got the sniper working with them as well, with Cadus going out. So nice little turnaround from the fact that Mookie came up trumps running sniper this time, but this actually just capping out the point. Usually you don't really see that in this high level TF2, but because they played things so patiently and just stuck it out, they can now just kind of hold them at an arm's length, realise that their respawns are going to come in, and every time Flash goes back, Stark goes forward. Every time Stark goes back, Flash goes forward, and they just win there from, I guess, drawing out the fight and knowing that the spawners were coming in. Lowpander decided to back out, which was the correct move for them, and they're still making the push in now. There's no time for a pause, there's no time for a breath. They're going to keep moving in, and Drac will be punished for it, along with his buddy Stark, who's maybe getting a bit greedy at this point. I mean, they're probably feeling themselves a bit too much now, realising that they are winning this game overall, not just one map but one round. They throw in the Ubers, who gets actually a nice little force and some damage out on the team. He even gets out to tell the tale, but Fungs goes down during the little choke, I guess, skirmishing, and things will maybe calm down just a little bit, but that's just Se7en preparing for this Uber coming in from Martin here. And I would love to throw it to you, CeeJaey. Actually, yeah, take this mid now, CeeJaey, before I die.
Look how deep Mookie is getting. Hildreth just walking forward. Cadus almost gets caught out there. Drac is the only casualty, actually, and the Uber hasn't been used by Lowpander. They've still got it. Stark's. Oh, I can see him, but it doesn't matter. Se7en just backing off here because everyone else from Lowpander is walking forward. The lash to take down Hildreth. You can't drop your demo in that situation, and Ubers is also taking a lot of damage as well. Who down? Starkey has crept him from the shadows, and down Funds. Lowpander are in control, but there's a backup going on. If the block comes in from Se7en, then no, it won't come in.
They wanted to block. They even got Drax almost there in time. Oh, very nice, like air shots and cleanup by Mr. Epic and Mookie. And Starkey's actually, well, if I can't get your cap point, I'm going to kill you instead. He comes in behind, forces off Martin, who gets back into the waiting arms of Funds, who's going to clean up that pesky scout for them. Flash is trying to show off his 1v1 prowess, but instead thinks wiser of it, with Hildreth kind of crashing the party there. 100% Uber for Raven. This is their time to push, CeeJaey.
This is their time to push. They are walking forward, and as always, Raymond just milking that Uber, not using it unless he absolutely has to, and Captain's going to get an early pick, although dies for it. And what? Cadus pipes takes down Martin. And this is looking horrific right now. Finally, Raymond does use just to save the lash. They're probably going to clean up the players there. Oh, wow. Hildreth gets dunked into the ground there. Actually has to hit his kill bind because realised the pointlessness of him trying to escape there. And Se7en Probably going to take middle off this as well, and an Uber advantage turbo. Raymond's already at 25%, Martin just respawning now, so Lowpander have to be careful on this second point.
I told you, CeeJaey. I told you about that Cadus standoff ability. He's just, if there's a standoff, there's a 50-50 chance that Cadus is just going to pluck a kill out of thin air. And so he did, and it got the ball rolling for your boys on 7. So the second defense looks a bit, maybe a little bit scary for Lowpander, because they have to keep in the back of their mind that they have an Uber advantage on 7 here. They're even pushing a little bit early as well, so kind of almost like a dot push where they're really using the full potential scare factor of the Uber. They can maybe even think about Ubering it. Oh, a drop coming out from Raymond, very uncharacteristic by the English medic, and there you go, there's the counter Uber. Martin's not going to get many of these where he sees what Raymond drop and he gets a free Uber, so he's just going to milk it for his worth. Everyone gets an Uber, you get an Uber, you get an Uber. Stark is behind as usual. But
Drac actually doing a great job. He's on a 4K. He's still on mid. And he might actually make a play for Martin here.
The soldier's jumping
mid.
in.
He's blocking mid.
Oh, but he had to stand off it for a second. He's actually going to get the second cap. Stark has actually come huge for his team. He's going to get the wraparound onto Martin as well. Will he get the kill? No! Funds will deny him. And Raymond will actually clean up the Funds kill. And Martin, he's picked the worst place to back out for. Why did you go there, Martin? That was the worst spot to back out from.
Like Starkey is going to get the credit for the cap, and Thalash is not going to capture this last point. It's probably going to happen eventually as Se7en are just flooding in now. Cadus just jumps the point and juggles everyone off with those stickies. Starkey did amazingly to get behind and get on that cap, but it was Drac. Like, he was being chased down by a scout, killed the scout, and then also stayed alive long enough to just block the point on mid. Lowpander could have had that. They could have just won the mid and continued walking forward. But because Drac blocked the point, Starkey was able to just combine with that, capture second, and essentially just like a long-rooted back cap. So really demoralizing for Lowpander right now to be in such a great situation and then end up losing the round anyway. But we see slightly more slow round from slow mid fight. Sorry, from Se7en as Captain takes a massive shot in the air. There's totally out the fight. Captain is in on Martin though. Martin serves it away onto the ridge. Almost survives, but it doesn't matter. Starkey finishes off, and that's what they call a wipe.
I'm not sure if they could even see Starkey on that mid there. It looked like they weren't paying attention to him at all, and he was just cleaning up all the kills, all the low damage that was sprung to Lowpander on that mid that they had to just pick up the pieces and deal with, and Stark was just in their face, the worst place at the right time for Lowpander, as they are now even being pressured on this last point. The sentry doesn't cover the point quite entirely. Raven's trying to switch off his Uber to maybe get a cheeky cap, but they actually throw 2 bodies onto the point. But the captain's going to try and knock them off. Cadus kind of goes a bit jihad and kills himself, but taking down 2 people with him. And there you go, a third but very easy looking round for Team 7.
There's just that corner, that left corner close to the spawn, where you can get some cheeky cap time with no pressure from the sentry whatsoever. And Thalash got it basically 2/3 capped, nearly 3/4, and before he was even contested. So Thildrith is actually faster to mid than
you don't see this every day, do you?
I can't see Cadus actually.
There's a Cadus now.
There he is now. But the first frag actually goes to Mookie. He's going to take down Thalash, and there is some late aggression here. Cadus does take down Hildreth, and another shot here from Mookie. He takes down Captain with the headshot. Raymond goes down to Ubers, and this does look like a very efficient mid from Lowpander. Not losing their medic, but Drac is in sewers, and they know he's there. They know he's there. He's just being annoying right now. He's just going to bide his time and wait for the right moment to recontest. But yeah, Lowpander finally getting a mid fight on the board.
I feel like this is the difference maker. Once Cadus is actually slow on mid, but once he doesn't get everything done that he wants to do, and the mid doesn't seem as hard for Lowpander to get in. I mean, it doesn't. It also helps the fact that Mookie actually got a kill very early on during all the fighting, and they managed to get the Cadus pick quite a little bit early. Oh, Starkey just kind of came out of the shutter for kind of just like a bitter little snipe there. It doesn't really do anything in the grand scheme of things, but it really just kind of just throws like sand in their eyes, like it's a mild inconvenience, but it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, Drac was behind enemy lines during this time, and actually did enough damage to Hildreth that slowed him and Ubers down. But Lowpander are walking in now, but it doesn't matter because Raymond does have 100% already. So the sentry has been taken down before the fight, but Mookie gets taken out as well. So one player down for each team at the moment, and Lowpander have lost their Uber advantage. So again, well played by Drak, just behind enemy lines, slowing down the respawns from Lowpander long enough to allow his team to get in a decent defensive position and have their medic up with 100% Uber. And there's no off classes from Lowpander right now. So Starkey on the sniper, just trying to find a shot there, walking through the shutter, seeing what he can do. He's coming out from balcony now. Can he make the shot? No. And Martin is just, he's not risking it. He just wants to be in a position away. Please don't shoot me in the face.
It is quite funny to watch Lowpander, and when the sniper pops out for a second, everyone just kind of just like meanders around and just suddenly just like panics. A little just like jolt of, oh, Flash, sentry gun, MVP.
Just call him Uncle Thalash. Two kills there on our players trying to get in, and still no force out of either medic though. So Se7en are going to be happy with that. They have just under half the game to go, and they're 3-0 up. So again, Lowpander really in a position where they have to force the issue to get something done. They have a sentry and a sniper to face, and we still don't see an off class out of them.
Yeah, Flash has been tuning into his YouTube. He knows that the level 2 sentry gun has the same DPS on the machine gun as the level 3. See, I've been watching it too, CeeJaey. You impressed?
Your knowledge just astounds me.
Thank you. I can
But
tell
the
you the
sentry's
exact
being
DPS
focused here.
numbers. Oh.
The exact DP, you've got a calculator.
Yep.
Just every single time. This sentry though, the Lash has moved it, and it's sort of on this grate, which is not a position I've seen before. And there is spam coming down. He's trying to keep it alive, but this is what Drak did against Antic on Gullywash, really to great effect. Just taking down that sentry early on, so it isn't something to deal with when you're doing the Uber. When you're coming with the Uber, you really don't want to be using it to focus that sentry. You want to go for the medic force. You want to go for the other players. Funds did die there. I think it was to Starkey, but he's respawned, and again, no sniper. I would have thought maybe he wanted to try out some sniper or something like that, but nobody is switching off here.
I mean, they're trying to use the sentry gun as bait. I mean, you know, you've been in that position where you're a soldier, like 3 sentry kill, and you're trying to spam it out, and the sniper just kind of uses that as his own little bait to kind of fish you in and get an easy sniper line. But they've lost a few players over on the side of Se7en here, but with Uber's going down, maybe it's just not to be. They do actually lose the sentry gun as well. That's 7th man down for Se7en. But they're just throwing in funds, seeing if he can just get in. And Raymond, he's not going to pop for anybody there. Maybe he might pop for the Mookie bomb. Who's coming in behind? Oh, nice force coming out from Raymond there.
Oh my word!
How does he know?
He was about 3 HP there, I swear. Like, it was so close, and he ends up using and keeping himself alive.
He doesn't even see Mookie come in. He just kind of, he must see that his health drops a certain threshold, and his finger just automatically presses it. It's more like, what's the word? It's not conscious, it's subconscious kicking in there.
Yeah, exactly. Just knew. He just knew. But the force did come out onto Martin as well. So in the end, they don't actually have an Uber advantage. And Raymond has about 40% on top of what Martin has. Funds there with the pistol. Does take down Drak. So Lowpander trying to take lobby here. Maybe they go for a dry push. The last still on the engineer. And that sentry is only a level 1. And it's much more passive than it was before. So Lowpander trying to get in here. Raymond so close to his Uber at 100% right now. The Lash switches off to the heavy. Running that Natasha. Just trying to annoy and slow down people. Mookie in panic room isn't going to get anything done. Literally floats in the air as Thalash has a little bit of juggling going on.
The side's gone too far, CeeJaey. That looked a little bit sickening to watch. He just had to sit there as he got pummeled and by these very slow but very weak bullets. Almost waiting, begging for the death. But yeah.
It's almost bait. It's almost bait. I'm going to keep you in the air, and you're going to die when I want you to die. But again, this is what I'm questioning. Turbo. We see again the Lash on the engineer and Starkey. Okay, not on sniper, but we see no off classes out of Lowpander. I would have thought by now we would have seen at least Mr. Epic or Mickey off class to sniper just to get that opening and make something happen so that Lowpander can gain. Because at the moment they're just kind of butting their heads against a brick wall.
Do you want me to pop by Funds' house, just tap him on the shoulder? Hey buddy, you've only got like 9 minutes left in the game. You might want to get a jog on.
Or you could fly to Russia. I mean, it's a slightly longer journey, but just tell Mr. Epic, hey man, just, you did some snipes on mid. We see a bomb from Mookie. That sentry floats him up this time. And again, I'm pretty sure Raymond took like 10 damage from that. Like,
I don't think Raymond even knew there was a bomb coming. He was like, huh?
It's physically impossible to hurt him with splash damage, I feel. Unless you're going to start hitting those directs, he's just impenetrable. And Starkey does die, but it doesn't really matter. That's not a huge pick for them to push in. And again, no off classes out of Lowpander here. I feel we're going to see an Uber exchange at some point. They're just going to come in and try to maybe get a repush going on. I'm just going to check, see if I don't see any banners on Ubers either. So that's something else that they usually have in the bag, but they're going full vanilla here, Turbo.
Oh, man, you can see they even coordinated a double... Oh, Starkey interrupted me with a nice little snipe there, so it's going to delay things even longer. But they were coordinating like a double soldier spam onto Flash, and he was like, oh no, what do I do? Oh wait, I can just pick up the sentry gun, and then your entire effort, coordinated effort, is gone. And he just plops it back down again. It's like nothing even happened.
Okay, so we're not going to get the Funds or the Mr. Epic Sniper. We're not even going to get the Mookie Sniper. We're going to get the Mookie Spy. And he gets body shot by Starkey.
There goes the Mookie Spy.
That was a very short-lived Spy. I hope you enjoyed that action, guys. And we'll see what he respawns on. Maybe he'll just go for the Spy again and just pretend that didn't happen.
The sideshow treatment. Yep, there you go. The Spy.
And Starkey is on Sniper still. They're not deciding to change that despite getting the Spy pick.
Well,
do you think... I mean, Se7en have got to realise this. They're going to think it's Mookie.
Oh,
he might just respawn.
I think he just bumped into him. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. Oh, he could bump into loads of things. He's doing a good slalom right now to dodge everything. He's going to go for the Cadus pick instead. He doesn't see the startup coming because he's a demo man, of course. So there you go. There is the pick onto Cadus. A very little... Well, actually, they've lost 2 players, so they can't make a very little push about anything.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure in lobby from Captain, and managed to take down Funds and Hildreth with the rest of his team. So, yeah, it's just this coordinated spam from Captain and Drac that managed to catch these players out. Captain finally finds out where Mookie was. He didn't die after that stab. He was still alive and just, hiding around. Yeah. But Captain rumbles him, so no more Spy. Do you think they'll expect the Spy third time around? Is Mookie going to try it? No, he's back on to Soldier.
Captain poked his head out of one for a second there. I think he actually could have made the flank onto the medic, but he went, oh, this is awkward, maybe we should go back. Okay, Starkey gets the pick onto Hildreth. I mean, that's a big pick. The demo man is quite the force in a push and quite the denier of that point as well, and he still feels just as needed as any time in TF2, so with him going down, there's no way they're going to make a push. They even kind of suicide wave in. Who knew you could do that on process?
Who knew? Martin getting pressured here. Has to be careful he doesn't get forced. That would be really bad. Mookie did go in for a bomb there, and instead of going for Raymond, he actually tried to focus a lot of the damage onto Cadus. So taking that demo down would actually have been a really good opening for Lowpander to maybe just walk in and maybe go for some point focus. Take down that sentry and just focus the point. I don't know, but at the moment... It really is just seeming that Lowpander are hoping that Mookie can get something, get a pick or something, as Funds tries to run in, but Captain is just going to shoot the face of him, and he's going to explode to smithereens. And it's literally just kind of a brick wall right now for Lowpander. They seem to be struggling on trying to get through. Mookie's tried Spy. We haven't seen Sniper yet, but Mookie bombing in. It's very difficult when you've got everyone focusing on you and a sentry to contend with.
I mean... As Essentials have thought about installing like a large clock into their HUD, perhaps. Maybe put it in a low opacity in the background, kind of just to signify games like this, because the time is just, the mission ends in 60 seconds.
Maybe that's what Lowpander were counting on. Just fine, let's wait for the round timer to go down. Start from a mid-fight and get some momentum as Hildreth.
I don't think that's anything they're banking on at all. I'm pretty sure that's that's the last thing they want to happen. They're
I mean, no. I think it's a better situation. Like, you're in this situation where they're really struggling to find a way to get in. Even Thalash says in chat, "What are you doing?" And Mookie just says, "I don't know." They just, I think maybe it's better to maybe hope for a good mid-fight and get a wipe, and then get that momentum, roll it onto last. Because at the moment, it's just this is a big stalemate, and we've been on last for 10 minutes now, and Lowpander haven't found a way through this rock hard iron defense. Even Thalash has got a level 3 dispenser up. That's how long we've been sat around here. I wonder if Ubers are going to get traded. I wonder if they're actually... Oh no, Martin does use his Uber. It's going to come in. Someone actually needs to stand on the point, otherwise, yeah, there we go. Stalemate. Everybody is a loser. And just 4.5 minutes to go, Turbo. Lowpander have to get 3 rounds.
Yep, that is... So You're playing against the best team in the world. It's won the last 2 I-Series, and you have to win Process, one of the longer maps, in like the quickest times ever in history of TF2.
Well, I mean, everyone talks about, Gully Wash and the TCM bite, and then everyone talks about Granary, TCM I4T9. This could be the Lowpander, right?
Quick,
do a Lowpander.
Change your name to TCM. Lowpander.
Change your name to TCM, and then the magic will happen. But not when Mookie gets headshot at the mid fight by Starkey, who then gets a 2K taking down Mr. Epic as well. Really, Se7en deciding sniper to mid. Starkey probably thinking, I've played sniper for so long on last. Let's just not swap and just stick with it. And Lowpander forced back their drag. Nice rocket there to take down Funds, and maybe Se7en are just thinking, let's just finish this off now. Let's just roll it all the way to last. Martin, quite weak, 6 HP. Is he going to get? He's in the spawn. He's okay, but that could have been a drop there.
I mean, I don't think he's okay. I think everyone's a bit maybe depressed at this point now. We are most certainly into trash time now. This is choo choo. This is going to be one of the longer train rides of trash time.
We could just have like a stalemate on this last now. Like it's a different scenario, but no, Martin uses his Uber, and actually they've got 2 picks here. Starkey and Drac are still dead for the time being. Mookie and Uber's very, very weak, about 30 HP between them before they got healed up there, but Raymond hasn't been forced. As always, it seems he's very, very difficult, uses it in the air there, and his team are going to try and clean up these frags. Mookie shot out the air. Fun's just trying to cap the point by himself, and then takes down Starkey as well. So, nice little bit of scout action there, but unable to stop it. Ooh, pipes from Hildreth does take down the Lash. Tried to rush into last there, but this could be a round for Se7en. But no, they are losing players, including Raymond and Cadis. So that's kind of stunted any sort of progression from them. Drac is kind of looking in one, but Uber's spotted him. He's going to chase him away, scare him away with some of his rockets. I mean, we said it's trash time now, Turbo. So, I mean, I'm not going to get too excited about what's going on. But what do you feel Lowpander could have done in the last 10 minutes to kind of maybe switch things up and found a way through that kind of hold there by Se7en?
I'd imagine maybe just more. They had these off classes, but they were very kind of one-dimensional in the fact that they hoped that the one player would just come through for them. It would be like, okay, Mr. Epic, I hope you can find that snipe. Okay, Mookie, I hope you can find that stab. But I feel like maybe if they threw a bit more coordination in there, get some like sync play going, can always find all these weird and wonderful combinations to kind of get these things off, but they just look like they gave up at like the halfway mark. They were like, well, it looks like we are against an unstoppable force and we are most certainly not a immovable object. So
I'm just watching Cadis right now. He's on mid. 1v1ing Martin. Can he take him down? Martin with the arrows is going to do it. It's melee. Oh, Pain Train. Cadis taking down the Pain Train into Martin's face. Martin did die there earlier on, 97%. Starkey deciding he was going to play some Spy for a little bit. Got a backstab onto the medic.
My logs. Ruined CeeJaey. How am I supposed to take these logs seriously anymore when there's Pain Train kills?
You're going to have some melee kills here and there, and Lowpander were kind of had a little bit of momentum there. They managed to capture the second point, but they've, in the end, a bit of a DM battle going on. Lost out. And 45 seconds left. I think the only chance here is if one of these teams is going to get a frag. Cadis jumps all the way. It's going to be choked. He's in sewer now. Trying to go for a flashy play. Get something for the frag vid, No one needs to know it was during trash time.
It is just, it's not ending with a bang, but a very slow die.
Very, very slow die. So in the end, there's no more time for a round. I'm going to call it. I think it's going to be 3-0. On the second map, which I think we believe was Se7en's map choice. Not sure what the decider was going to be, but it's irrelevant as Se7en are going to take this 2 maps to 0. 6-2 on Sunshine and 3-0 on Process. So Se7en are our champions, Turbo, of the first monthly cup from Essentials.TF, Season 0, I believe we're referring it as. And Lowpander are going to get 150 euros just to kind of, go out for a cheeky Nando's maybe. But Se7en have got 350 euros and 6 headsets. Can't say that word for some reason. Headsets. From our sponsors, Plantronics.
Congrats.
Congrats. The party starts here. The party starts here. I mean, do you think that's a fair result based on the action we've seen? Do you think?
I mean, it was it was great TF2, as in like, it was just very by the book, very clean, very good TF2 coming out from Se7en. They weren't flawless, but they were just a great example of like when X happened, they did Y, and like the Y was just it should be appreciated in its own, because it's usually masterfully crafted.
I'm sorry, I just had to look in the chat there, and Fun saying, "Can I have one of your headsets, please? Mine is broken." So a bit of bargaining going on there, hoping he can nab one of the headsets. But yeah, I kind of agree. Like,
I mean, he won the part of 150. He could buy a new headset now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's like what 150 divided by 6. Go. What's the answer? Yeah, maybe
math.
Enough for a headset is the answer. Maybe
it's like 28-ish.
Yeah, I'll believe you. I'll believe you. It's not like I teach kids or anything. I should know this kind of stuff. But no, I go back to what you said. I agree. Like yesterday, a lot of the focus was on all Se7en. They lost a map and they're dropping rounds, and we touched upon that today. But when you've got your full lineup, a couple of days of TF2 behind you, they just seemed in full force today. And Lowpander, it's not to understate it, Lowpander have been in absolute fine form yesterday and today. They didn't lose any games yesterday. They were the only team not to drop a map. And today, all of their games were 5-0s, including against top 5 Rocket, which is no mean feat. So to come into this and basically be humbled, it's kind of a testament to how well Se7en have played today. We're going to take a look at the logs for the second map now, Turbo. And is there anything that catches your eye?
All right. Well, I'm going to go for a very telling stat, and that is the kill to death ratio. Actually, let's throw some assists in there. Why not? Let's get the medics in on that action. And all the red players suddenly shoot up to the top of the scoreboard. But it's actually Captain who's been doing the major pounding for his team. He seems to be the cleaner of those mid-fights in particular, from what I can remember. The driving force, the front line, the first man in the door, and it seems like he never died, so he was the last one out as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you have someone who's able to just pound out that damage during the mid-fights, he was really not just focusing, not just getting the damage, but getting the damage on the right players. I think Hildreth was a recipient a lot of that damage during the mid-fights.
I want to maybe give a nod to Cadus as well. It's not always easy finding these kills as a demo man, but he actually topples everybody apart from Starkey. But he's a scout, he's kind of inherent in his class. But 23 kills is nothing to snuff at as a demo man. It's impressive to see. And again, it was some of the examples of like what we talked about before, CeeJaey, the whole like when there's a standoff, Cadus just finds those pipes, he finds those stickies, he just finds those kills.
Exactly, like he just has that ability, and especially when you're that fast at a mid-fight, if you can catch somebody out, then it really puts you in a prime position during the rest of the fight. I mean, Starkey top fragging there with 26. He played 12 minutes of sniper. I think most of that was when they were on last, and he was just kind of just chilling and just picking people off here and there. Yeah. Managed 8 headshots, and I was surprised that we didn't see more sniper action coming out of Lowpander to maybe break these stalemates. But Starkey was definitely the sniper to watch in this game.
It's just very clean, very clean, and didn't even look like they broke a sweat over on Se7en. And they should be applauded the level of TF2 they can bring.
We are having some people coming for interviews, and we got Cadus, I believe. So we'll be the first to say congratulations on some fat money and a nice headset.
Oh yeah, thanks, gang. It was a good game.
I know this is obviously a high point. I mean, you had I-61. This is obviously much more important. But was it good to kind of get back into playing some comp TF2 after a few weeks away? Like I know Se7en aren't playing ETF too well. Are you kind of feeling the itch for a bit more TF2 now?
Yeah, I think these cups are like really great. I'm kind of surprised the other Prem teams didn't sign up, because I don't know, for us this is like the perfect format at the moment. Just being able to kind of show up a couple of days once a month and play against like good teams for like a little bit of money is pretty good. I think it's what TF2's needed for like a long time.
Do you prefer the format of kind of monthly or maybe bi-weekly cups and just kind of have that money incentive and just get everyone playing over the course of a weekend rather than, an elongated season of a couple of months?
Yeah, like we kind of, especially like the other guys, like I play a bit more than the rest, I suppose, but they all like mostly like TF2 still and enjoy playing it, but they don't want to commit like vast swatches of their life to it, like 3-4 months that you have to do to play like a season format. So this kind of like suits their desire to play the game at the moment. So it's pretty much perfect. And the fact there's like a little bit of prize, like no one's doing this for the money, but the fact there's a little bit of prize just adds like the cherry on top, I guess.
Just to talk about the tournament in detail, okay, this now. Was there ever a point where you guys felt like you were having difficulty, because we were struggling to find spots where you guys were breaking a sweat, What about on your side of things? Was there ever a point in the tournament like, oh man, we might have dropped the ball here, or we're not doing as well as we hoped?
Well, I mean, it was only really like the first few maps of like the group stage, because we hadn't as a team played since iSeries. So, I mean, we obviously lost one map in the groups, but I mean, I hope we showed tonight that was like just sort of a blip. Like, Chokebusters played well when we played them, but we were sort of all over the place. We had to get a lot of things like back together how they used to be. That's kind of why like I really like the format, because you don't just have to, like, as a team who only plays these cups now, from now on, you don't have to just show up and instantly like be good on the first night back. You get that one day to kind of get back into it, and then day two, like, you're like back into it and you can play the games that like really matter. So it's way better than just a one night cup, because on a one night cup we could have still been super rusty and just lost. But because we had like the group stage to get back into the swing of things, it's like really, really perfect.
I don't know what to talk about, CeeJaey.
I was going to ask, like, there's two things in particular I wanted to ask. One is kind of a stream derived question, but the other one was yesterday we casted a different game yesterday, and against the Chokebusters, like, what was the whole kind of I won't say shenanigans, but you guys drew 2-2. It seemed there was a lot of pauses where there connection issues because suddenly Paddy and Ams came in for the golden cap.
It's really, really stupid, actually. The pause wasn't for us. I think it was for Ratslayer. He timed out or something. Basically, it was my first map of the tournament. I hadn't been here for the rest, so I just kind of got on, started my stream, like went into the game. We lost. We drew, rather, the map. And we kind of asked the question, is there a golden cap? Because we thought, because you get 2 points for a win, we assumed it would be like, okay, 1 point for a draw. So we assumed that there was no golden cap. This assumption only lasted about 2 minutes. We were very quickly corrected, but 2 of our players went for dinner as soon as they found out. So we just kind of grabbed 2 subs and had to roll with it. Yeah, that's basically it, to be honest. It's pretty like stupid, really.
Yeah, it was a bit of a baptism of fire for those guys. Like, oh, hey, this is a golden cap. Like, come play. The other thing I wanted to ask was about avatars. People are interested in why there's so many, I think it's lizards or turtles on the Se7en players' avatars. Apart from yourself, everyone else seemed to have a turtle face as their avatar. Was that something to do with Se7en turtling?
Everyone was very, very upset when they were referred to as lizards, because they're actually turtles. So you got that one right. Yeah, the team was very, very disheartened to hear people thought it was turtles. I mean, thought it was lizards, rather. Personally, I have no idea what this is to do with. I don't know what's going on. I just joined and they had it. They linked me a picture and was like, "This is your avatar now," but I don't go in for that kind of shenanigans.
Okay, I'll have to find I'll find the information out for someone else. The last thing is people keep asking in stream chats about CeeJaey. Is there any hint or confirmation of Se7en possibly attending CeeJaey as either players or as an entire unit?
Unfortunately, like as a team, we definitely can't go. Most of us invested between 2 and 3 weeks of annual leave into TF2 lands already this year between Rewind and iSeries. So yeah, people just don't have like the ability to get time off work for it. Like, we are still, at least five of us are still very interested in like all the TF2 lands, but this one just isn't possible. I mean, I'm probably going. I have a flight booked, but I don't have a team, so I'm kind of on the lookout for anything half decent. I'm not sure about the rest, though. I don't think, like, maybe Thalash, but I don't think any of the others like are available or willing. Mostly it's availability, though.
What about a casting couch, Cadis? Would you be interested in that?
I would consider it. I don't travel particularly well, so I kind of have to be quite like heavily incentivized to travel. Yeah. Obviously, I have like my health issues, which make like traveling's a bit of a ball ache because you got to like carry a heavy bag around and shit. It's it's quite rough on me, so I have to.
You don't need to tell me, man. I was there carrying it for the other Sweden trip.
My bag. If someone will carry my bag, I'll come and cast.
So there we go, guys. If you want a caster or a player, carry Cadis's bag. You don't know.
I've been delegated to bag carrier again for like the third stream in Swedland. Feels bad.
I appreciate it though, man.
I don't think there's much more to go on. It's just it seems like Se7en have just casually strolled in, cashed their check, and just bounced back out. I can't really think of a particular time where Se7en weren't in control or doing really well. But this was just my first time on the stream. I didn't get a chance to see the any of the action yesterday. So if you've got any questions, CeeJaey, shout them because I'm all done.
I'm all done. I think Cadis has covered everything I wanted to talk about. Absolutely. So, just again, congratulations to Se7en for coming in. Hopefully, we'll see you guys. If you say you like this kind of format, hopefully next time Essentials has a monthly cup, which I'm guessing will be this time next month. Another prize pool in the offing. We'll see Se7en back for some more action.
Yeah, we will try to play them whenever they are. I
guess in good TF2 etiquette fashion, for joining us on the interviews, Cadis, you get to throw some shout out to your boys.
Honestly, are you boys? Just a shout out to all the Essentials guys. This wasn't the most spectated cup. The numbers are probably not as good as people would hope for, but I think in time, the Essentials brand will grow. So just a massive shout out to everyone who's you guys as well, put an effort into making these cups happen. For too long, man, we've just sort of sat in E2F2L and done this sort of same monotonous drag. So I think this kind of stuff is really, really helpful, and I hope more people are going to get behind it as time goes on. And shout out to my team for playing.
Neat. CeeJaey, any closing words at all?
No, not at all. I just shout out to you, Turbo. It's been a pleasure casting with you.
I know it's been really fun, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've had a good time. Yeah, I'm not going to mention the fact that I've needed the toilet for the past hour and a half, but that's absolutely fine.
Oh, do you not just use a bottle never mind. I don't need to get.
I forgot to equip my gaming diaper today, so struggling a little bit. But also to Epoli, yesterday we had a nice 5-hour stint doing the cast yesterday. That was great fun too. So I'm looking forward to more of these cups, and thanks as well to John in the background doing the camera work and the production. It's been a really nice weekend of TF2.
I guess I'll give a final shout out to all the viewers out there for watching. You are the whole reason, well, maybe the whole reason we do this. We kind of like playing the game as well, but you're part of the reason, which is still good enough. But otherwise, this has been our coverage of Se7en versus Lowpander, and Se7en have walked away with it quite comfortably. They've got the 350 in the bag, 6 headsets from Plantronics as well. A big thank you to those as well. While I'm thanking some sponsors, let's give a shout out to Ice Cream for Crow and to Demos.TF for sponsoring our little event. It's a big thank you to them. Now, otherwise, that has been our coverage of the Essentials monthly #1 Season 0 Cup monthly thing. It's a long title, it's a mouthful. But you'll get used to it because they should be coming back in troves. But otherwise, I've been TurboTabs. Been with me has been CeeJaey, John on the production, and Cadis has joined us for the interview. If that has been everything, thanks for joining us, and see you next time.